Hey there, I'm Marilyn with WC Finishing Touch. I'll be making a charcuterie Lazy Susan for my home. I got this 12-inch round panel of Acacia wood from the big box store and a 4-inch metal Lazy Susan. This is how it works. The Lazy Susan has metal ball bearings to make it spin between the two surfaces. I have some 1/2-inch wood screws and a scrap piece of pine that I will use as a base. How it works, you put the metal Lazy Susan on the board base, then the round panel board on top to create the Lazy Susan spin. The round panel can be used in different ways besides being a Lazy Susan. It can be used to make furniture, signs, for your hobby, crafts, and wall decor using paint, stencil, and other stains. In order to make it food safe, there are a few ways to do it. Use mineral oil, Howard's Butcher Block conditioner and oil, and I have made my own food safe conditioner. The mineral oil has to say food safe on the bottle. Or use poly on the round panel if you're not putting food on the surface. This is why the panels are easy to use for your hobby and crafts. I am headed to the miter saw to cut the base into a square. After cutting the square on the miter saw, I checked the cut of the base by doing a mock fit using the Lazy Susan and a round panel. I will now sand the pine base by hand using a wood block and 150 grit sandpaper to sand all 6 sides of the board and round off the edges. Using the metal Lazy Susan, I will mark the hole using an awl for the screws that's going to be installed into the round panel. I have to make a 3/8 inch hole so that I can install the screws into the round panel. You'll see what I mean in a moment when we get to that part. Before installing the Lazy Susan, I will prepare the base using Ipswich pine on all sides of the base. I will have 2 coats of stain with shellac as a protectant. While the base dries, I will now hand sand the round panel with 150 grit sandpaper on all sides using a wood block. what you see so far, press the like button and hit the subscribe button. I will have more content out soon on various different projects. This is my 24-inch round Lazy Susan I made to use to put finish on my projects because my space is small. I can move the project while I'm standing in one place. This is how using a Lazy Susan works for me in the finish process. I have completed the sanding on the round panel using 220 grit and 320 grit sandpaper. In between the grits of sandpaper, I used a wet towel to wipe on the round panel surface to raise the grain. Let it dry, then sand again. Now it's super smooth. Now it's time to put on the finish. I will use a wire dish rack and wax paper so the board can soak in the finished oil without making a mess. Because this panel has to be food safe, you can use mineral oil, but it must say food safe. And then butcher block conditioner to complete the panel. I will be using my own version of food safe conditioner, which consists of natural oils, beeswax, and lemon essence. I apply it liberally with a white pad, let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes, and buff it with a cotton towel. 2 coats will be applied to the round panel. The first coat of finish sat absorbing the oils for 25 minutes. I have a cotton towel to buff off the finish. Then I'll apply a second coat, let it sit, and then buff it. All of the finishing is done on the base and the round panel. Now I'm going to put it all together. I place the metal Lazy Susan on the square base. I use my awl to mark the holes. Drill starting points on the base for the screws, and screw in the 1/2-inch screws using a screwdriver. You will now see why you need the hole in that base. I place the base on the round panel and use a clear ruler to make sure I have the base centered on the round panel. I use the awl to mark the holes for the screws that will attach to the round panel. To do this, I place the awl through the hole and mark the hole through the metal Lazy Susan on the round panel. I rotate the base to mark all 4 holes using the awl. To keep the base from moving on the round panel, you can use double-sided tape. When holes are marked, you can then remove the double-sided tape and make starting holes on the round panel using the drill. We're at the final step. I use a magnetic screwdriver to hold the screw in place while I insert the screw through the hole in the base, the metal Lazy Susan, and into the round panel. What I do is screw in all 4 screws halfway through. This keeps the base in position. Then I hand tighten all 4 screws. This is how it looks up close when you fasten the screws into the round panel. The charcuterie Lazy Susan is complete. I hope this video helps you put together your own Lazy Susan. Thanks for watching.